You are tapped in with Caden. Teofimo Lopez calls Devin Haney a B because he refuses to fight him in March. We're going to take a look at what Devin Haney's been posting on social media and what led to Teofimo Lopez calling him the B word. Now, you see here, this is Ring Magazine, and it says Devin Haney teasing a March return on Instagram today. Teasing is the appropriate word. And we'll take a look. Devin Haney's posting a picture of himself shirtless saying, March, I'm back. Now, Teofimo Lopez fired off calling him a B because Teofimo Lopez alleged that he sent contracts to Devin Haney to fight Devin Haney in March, and Devin Haney rejected those contracts. Now, we're going to look at this right here from BLK Prime. And you see BLK Prime Boxing says a new era of boxing. And Devin Haney tweeted, March, I'm back. And then you see Prime retweeted this and said, see you March 2025 on BLK Prime. And Bill Haney has done several interviews on the YouTube boxing community circuit. Bill Haney is meeting with anyone and everyone who would meet with him. If your channel can generate one view, Bill Haney doesn't matter if it's from 1 million views to 1 view, Bill Haney is meeting with anyone who would have him, which is a very interesting thing that I'll get into in a second. But you see here, BLK Prime is hinting towards the fact that they believe Devin Haney's going to fight on BLK Prime. And Bill Haney was saying on one of the interviews he did on one of these various boxing channels that we need to start bigging up the BLK Primes. We need to start giving them their love. So, people are saying like, okay, that was a bit of foreshadowing to Bill Haney and Devin now going to fight on BLK Prime. Teofimo Lopez tweeted Devin Haney and he said, you punk B. At real Devin Haney. And basically what Teofimo Lopez was saying is, you're a punk because now you're saying you're coming back in March, but you could have come back to fight me, which rumors are circulating that Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting Subriel Matias on March 15th now, but Devin Haney and Teo would have been a bigger fight to some. I still think that Teofimo Lopez and Subriel Matias, Puerto Rico, Teofimo Lopez is Honduran, but you have a lot of Mexicans who rock with Teo. He trains with Eddie Reynoso. And you got Brooklyn, you got New York, you have a large Puerto Rican fan base in New York, and Teofimo Lopez is from New York. So that fight still can be pretty big if they promote it right. But Teofimo Lopez is calling him a B because he's saying, I sent you an offer, you could have fought me, but in March, now you're saying you're coming back in March after reports have surfaced that I'm about to fight Subriel Matias. Devin Haney responded saying, you talk about black people, but need a black person for payday, B.A. boy. Stay off them pills you love so much. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, too. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna jump into this now. Here's the thing. One, I don't know what Devin is talking about when he says like you need a black fighter for a payday. In the history of the sport, some of the biggest fights always involved, a Mexican fighter, a black fighter, a Hispanic fighter, and a black fighter. The biggest fight in the history of the sport is Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. Prior to that, it was Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya. So that way of thinking just doesn't make any sense to me. Even when you look at the biggest fight Devin Haney can possibly make, it's the rematch with Ryan Garcia, a Mexican. Devin Haney's biggest fight was against Ryan Garcia, a Mexican. So are Mexicans going to run around saying, you need us to make big fights? It's just dumb. It's just pushing that BLK Prime narrative already, that narrative that the Haneys like to push. The reality is you get big paydays by fighting the people we want to see you fight, right? If Fury's fighting Usyk, he's going to get a payday. If Fury's fighting Anthony Joshua, he's going to get a payday. You get a payday by fighting the fighters we want to see. That's just the reality of it. So making it seem like the only way you can get a payday is if, because I heard the same argument being made by some Mexican fans when Terrence Bud Crawford and Earl Spence fought each other. And Rick Glazer is one of the people who was making that argument. Oh, the problem is you got two black people in the fight, and that hurt the pay-per-view revenue because they going after the same fan base. That's baloney. That's ridiculous. Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox, Tyson, those fights did very well. You got two black people. Floyd Mayweather, Zab Judah, Floyd Mayweather, Shane Mosley, fights do well. Like you can't sit around and just and simplify it to that. So when Devin Haney is saying this, to me, it's just propaganda. It's part of the Haney spin machine, right? So I'll break down a few points. One is you can't believe everything you see when it comes to Bill Haney, Devin Haney, and the Haneys, because they just like to be the topic. They like to feed stuff to the media so that they can stay relevant. And Devin's not fighting. So what's a way they can stay relevant? Push his comeback and say he's going to do something that would be considered out of the norm. So now everyone's talking about Devin Haney coming back in March on BLK Prime, and talking like he's gonna. We'll see what really happens, and that's why I said teasing is the operative word when Ring Magazine said Devin Haney's teasing a comeback, because in reality, we don't know if he's really coming back in March. But what we know is that Devin Haney hasn't been getting the type of coverage that he normally would get. All the coverage for Devin Haney has been negative. Well, I won't say all of it. A large portion of the coverage that Devin Haney has been receiving has been negative. So now what they're saying is like they're trying to change the narrative to, oh, he's coming back and now he's going to be fighting on BLK Prime. And now people are like, what weight class is he coming in? Who's going to be his opponent? And Ray Jackson from Twitter predicts that his opponent is going to be Adrian the Problem Broner. Here's my thing. Nothing's official until it's official. You saw the tweets and tweeting and all that stuff is cool. But let's wait and see if Devin Haney really comes back in March. And let's see if he's really fighting on BLK Prime. Another point I want to address. BLK Prime. Terrence Bud Crawford fought on BLK Prime. It really wasn't a success. He fought David Evanesian. The production wasn't great. And he was able to have that fight with David Evanesian and then move on to bigger and better things. Now, here with Devin Haney, you have a situation where he had a fight against Sandor Martin that went to a purse bid, and $2 million won the purse bid. And I believe it was Top Rank, and Top Rank was the only promotional company that bid on the fight. And so that let Devin know where his value was to these promotional companies. And for years, people have been saying, particularly promoters, that Devin Haney isn't the best asset in terms of pay-per-view because he doesn't really generate the pay-per-view buys it would take to pay his salary and still turn a profit. Now he's going with BLK Prime. I don't think it's necessarily a problem if he's doing it this way. We see all these fighters, they'll have their own promotional company like DHP Promotions, right? But really, they're working in conjunction with Matchroom, and Matchroom's shouldering the load for if they take a loss. So it's really Matchroom Promotions, and they're just letting Devin Haney put his name on a mat. So my question is Devin Haney fighting on BLK Prime because he's really about to have this next fight and he's going to fund everything himself? If that's the case, then I think people should support him. I think more boxers should look into doing this. Then he really would be trying to lead the way in a sense. If he's going to be the one promoting the fight, he's going to be the one pushing the fight, and the network he's going to be aligning himself with to televise his fights is going to be BLK Prime, then I think that's a good thing. If he can pull it off, because it would be groundbreaking. It would be a fighter who actually has a promotional company that's really going to act as a promotional company and be willing to take the loss. With that being said, they have to be reasonable. They have to book a venue where they know they're going to turn a profit. They have to book it in a location where they know they're going to turn a profit. And they're going to have to get people to subscribe and to be willing to buy the fight on BLK Prime. And that's where this promotion comes in from Bill Haney. That's why you see Bill Haney willing to go on any and every show that has any type of platform. And Bill Haney's already said if he could change one person's mind, that's enough for him. So if you got a platform, Bill Haney is on there trying to get you to support his son and push this BLK Prime. And perhaps if he could get an indication that they're going to get enough support for it, then he will put the fight on BLK Prime. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. Again, it's a risk and it's only one fight, right? So you test the waters, you see how it goes. And if you think it's something that could be lucrative for you moving forward, that's one way to cut out ESPN. That's one way to cut out the zone. That's one way to carve your own niche in the game. So I'm not necessarily upset at it. But the real prize would be fighting Ryan Garcia in a rematch, right? If he gets to fight Ryan Garcia in a rematch on BLK Prime, where he gets to promote it, Devin Haney Promotions in conjunction with Golden Boy Promotions, and they get to put it on BLK Prime, they would keep a big piece of the pot. And that's the type of fight that would sell itself, because personally, I believe that is arguably the biggest fight that can be made in 2025. Now, if he's laying the foundation for that, I respect it. I think that it's a good idea. I think it's good business. But if he's just doing this because he can't, get the type of money he wants from ESPN, the Zone, and all the other promotional companies, I don't know if it would be sustainable without him turning the type of profit that he would need to actually live and sustain his lifestyle. So it's a interesting take. We'll see what really goes on with this BLK Prime. But with Teofimo Lopez is calling him a B because he's saying you could have fought me and you could have fought me on pay-per-view on ESPN with Bob Arum, and we could have made the bag. The only excuse Devin would have is I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to be my own boss, and I'm trying to really be, when you see DHP Promotions, I'm really trying to have it be DHP Promotions and no one else. I'm gonna front my own fights. I'm gonna take my own losses. I'm gonna really be a boss, not act like I'm the boss. I'm really trying to be the boss. And this is and lastly, to break it down, like you have Top Rank Promotions, but the network is ESPN. You have Matchroom Promotions, but the network is DAZN. And now you have Queensberry Promotions that used to be with TNT, but they're going to go to DAZN. And you have Top Rank is going to be going to DAZN. So if Devin Haney is really trying to operate as his own promotional company, and he's saying this is DHP Promotions aligning with BLK Prime, then that's really not something to hate on. You got to see how it works out. But if he's saying that's why he avoided the fight with Teofimo Lopez because he wants to attempt to be his own boss, well then fine. Who can argue with that? Another excuse for Devin is he doesn't want to come back after suffering a defeat, but that's really not a defeat. So we can say after suffering a beating. He doesn't want his first fight back to be someone the caliber of Teofimo Lopez. And I can respect that too, but he would just have to say that. Either way, we're going to see what happens with all this. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. It's Cated. I'm out. Peace.